said you can bury the workman, but the work will go on. You can silence the voices, but you can't stop the song.
Welcome to Wheeling the Pathways of Life Unplugged with your host, Brain Fitzpatrick. Wheeling the Pathways of Life Unplugged is a snapshot of the day-to-day experiences of disabled individuals as they navigate the world around us. We wish to shed light and open your eyes on a new perspective of people with disabilities. And by going unplugged, we can discuss viewpoints we hope will challenge our viewers' points of view. Most of us have disabilities we must live with, but what defines us is the way we deal with them. And now, here's your host, Brain Fitzpatrick.
Good afternoon, folks. This is Brain Fitzpatrick, bringing you an episode of Wheeling the Pathways of Life. And today, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about more about what I was talking about last week, but with a little more context to it. And then I'd like to clear up a misunderstanding out there online. First of all, I'd like to start there first. It's been brought to my attention that people on Facebook were complaining that because of the position of the newspaper or the newspaper shot the disability flag was up in a position higher than the American flag. And I'd just like to say, that was just a misunderstanding with the camera shot. That wasn't an intentional thing. That was just an angle problem. That wasn't like we're better than anybody. You know, we're not that prideful as far as that goes, but we are glad that we are being recognized this month. But I just want people to know we're not like that where we take precedence over the American flag. You know, we're not saying we're above the American flag. If anything, we're right there with the American flag as to go with the American flag. Because if it wasn't for America, honestly, I wouldn't be talking to you today. As a matter of fact, I'd be probably, not to get people upset or anything, but I probably very likely would be put away in a corner somewhere in other countries. So just to clarify that, people need to stop their comments about that on social media. And keep it positive, and if you got any questions, just ask me or ask somebody familiar with the situation. Don't just assume that the city is doing something they shouldn't be doing, because it's not true. And again, I'd like to thank the support of Pittsfield Community Television for 5 years of, you can go ahead and put the graphic up, Kelsey. 5 years of wheeling the pathways of life. Between wheeling the pathways of life and the radio show Wheeling the Pathways of Life, and now Wheeling the Pathways of Life Unplugged. Okay, Kelsey, you can drop it now. Let me explain a little bit while I'm talking about it. The difference between Wheeling the Pathways Unplugged and Wheeling the Pathways. Wheeling the Pathways was just the beginning. And now Wheeling the Pathways is a more honest, non-political, it's more of a political and a honest take over what I could talk about over the air on the radio, because sometimes different people don't want you to talk about certain things in certain environments. And I like to talk about the real truth and the real situations. And the real situation is, I feel as though where there's a problem now is with agencies that are getting so big. For example, agencies are getting so big and so, they're helping so many people. They're forgetting why they're helping people. They're helping people to live independent lives. Okay? And the independent life is just that, independent without being bothered or without being chastised for what people with disabilities want to do. And it's supposed to be easier than it is for people with disabilities to do what they want to do in life. Kelsey, can you pull out for me? Like I've said many times, this chair is a tool for me to get around and do the things I want to do the best I can. This is what your money is used for when you pay taxes. It's not to line the pockets of the politicians. It's not to put money toward the program just so they can make themselves look good. This is why you have taxes. Besides the roads and stuff like that, this is why. This is where your tax money goes. All right, thanks, Kelsey. You can go back in. And also, what I'd like to talk about is we also need to remember we have feelings and opinions too. We, as disabled people, and I know there's people out there that don't necessarily agree with me, but I know there's quite a few that do. As our opinions matter, and our opinions are valuable too. As a lot of people say to me, and I quote, "You don't pay taxes, so why are you worried about it?" But in a way we do, because we still pay taxes on the clothes that we buy and stuff like that. And just because we don't necessarily pay taxes in a certain way, I give back to the community by doing shows like this. Okay? And many people don't realize that what my life is like at home. People say this to me all the time. I do nothing. And I hate to tell you, but I do a lot. And one of the things I do is I manage my own household. I manage 5 or 6 staff a day coming in to take care of me. So when people say to me, I don't do anything, plus put a TV show together weekly for an hour. And plus, worrying about my medical situation and stuff like that. So it's very clear that people need to realize that I am a valuable person, and anybody that is in my situation, whether they can talk or not, is valuable. That is why thanks to the Commission on Disabilities, and thanks to Pittsfield Community Television, and thanks to the Freakum Bomb Foundation, this show has been added to the list of shows that are under closed captioning for people with disabilities. Without closed captioning for people with hearing disabilities and stuff like that, areas like this, the people wouldn't be able to watch what understand what I'm saying. Sometimes I do have to slow down a little bit just so the closed captioning equipment can catch up with me and put out the words that I'm saying. But that is something I'm working on, and this is the type of show that can provide that possibility, and that is why Pittsfield Community Television, again, was recognized for their willingness and their ability to give back to especially the disabled community for what they do. And in my opinion, allowing me to overtake the airwaves once a week, I can be a pretty tough host and a tough producer on my show, and they're keeping up with me. But the reason why I do what I do is to put out a quality show for situations like you. For people like you in situations as they come up. And over the next couple weeks, mark this day on the calendar, on the 27th of August, I will have a representative from Center for Independent Living as Lib discussing the what we call the ABLE account, which is a savings account that the state cannot touch. There's certain information on that and what you can use the ABLE account for. So on the 27th, we will be having a representative from AdLib to come on and explain that. So I'm always doing research and always doing situations to get the information out there, especially for the disabled. But I want you to know, my show is not always going to be about just disabled people. It's how the disabled people interact with the able-bodied people as well. Now, when agencies tell me not to become friends with my employees because it's too much of a boundary issue, number one, what I do in my own house with my employees is my business. But what they're saying is accurate to a point, but I know where my boundaries are. I know where my situation should be, and none of my staff is, I've had staff do this as far as commit fraud in situations like that, but none of that's going on right now. So agencies need to just mind their own business away. Your purpose as far as an agency goes is to make it available for us to be as independent as possible and to make sure we have staff. But as far as anything else, you guys can leave me alone and leave other people alone. All right? They know how to reach out, and you have the resources available for us to reach out to if there's a problem. But I just don't want to hear all the time, especially from other disabled people, that we can't do this because it's not appropriate or not fair if you do it one person over the other. Well, so I hate to tell you, but some of the staff at these agencies, I want you to think about this. Don't you have friends at work? Why can't you be friends with the people? Why can't I be friends with the people I work with? Now I understand certain things you can't do while you're working, but there's also a boundary too as far as the agencies telling me what I can and can't do in my own house. So when we come back, I will continue the conversation and continue to tell you what's coming up in the future. We will be right back, folks. Bye.
When all I see is the battle, you see my victory. When all I see is a mountain, you see a mountain move. And as I walk through the shadow, your love surrounds me. Yeah. There's nothing to fear now, for I am safe with you. So when I fight, I'll fight on my knees with my hands lifted high. Oh God, the battle belongs to you, and every fear I lay at your feet, and I'll sing through the night. 'Cause, oh God, the battle belongs to you. And if you are for me, who can be against me? Yeah. For Jesus, there's nothing impossible for you. When all I see are the ashes, you see the beauty. Thank you, God. Oh, when all I see is the cross, God, you see the empty tomb. So when I fight on my knees with my hands lifted high. Oh God, the battle belongs to you, and every fear I lay at your feet, I'll sing through the night. Oh God, the battle belongs to you. An almighty fortress, you go before us. Nothing can stand against the power of our God. You shine in the shadows, you win every battle. Nothing can stand against the power of our God. Almighty fortress, you go before us. Nothing can stand against the power of our God. You shine in the shadows, you win every battle. Oh, nothing can stand against the power of our God. Almighty fortress, you go before us. Nothing can stand against the power of our God. You shine in the shadows, you win every battle. Nothing can stand against the power of our God. So when I fight, I'll fight on my knees with my hands belongs to you. And every fear I lay at your feet. I sing through the night. Oh God, the battle belongs to you. Oh God, the battle belongs to you.
Good afternoon, folks. This is Brian Fitzpatrick for the second half of Wheeling the Pathways of Life. And thank you, Nick Winter, for giving us that song. That's a great song, and that kind of leads me into my second topic. Second half topic for the rest of the show is, without my team here and my team at church, I wouldn't be where I am today. I am 50 years old with a team here at the studio and here in Pittsfield. I've been here in Pittsfield since 1979. So that's over at least, I'm 50 years old anyway, but anyway, I'm not gonna do the math right now, but that's a testament to the way the city and the community as a whole was treating us as people with disabilities. But wherever there are good people, there are bad people too. There are people that just don't understand, so they don't know how to act. I am treated here at Pittsburgh Community Television just as a member of the community putting on a show. And I spent a lot of time putting on a good quality show and putting on topics that you as a community need to hear and that you want to continue to hear about. And as a result of that, get ready, Kelsey. As a result of that, I need your help in putting together shows and topics. So if you have any ideas or any suggestions, email me or inbox me on Facebook, or, leave me a comment on YouTube, or like and subscribe my channel on YouTube, and let me know what you guys need to hear. Let me know situations that are going on in your area of the country so I can talk about them too. Because, you know what? United States is tough, but from what I've seen and what I've dealt with in other areas of the country and what I've heard about other countries, this is still the best country in the world for disabilities and the inclusion we all have and the flexibility and the equipment capabilities we have. Now, you may disagree with me, some people, but China can be great with disabilities, great with equipment, great with computers and stuff like that. But I misspoke. This country stands alone as far as the inclusion and the flexibility they have with disabilities. Now I'll give you an example. The Americans with Disabilities Act. If every country would adopt the form of the Americans with Disabilities Act, this world would be a lot better off. Then I could travel to other areas of the country and experience what they experience and stuff like that. But we have our problems too, like transportation is a big one. Kelsey, can you pull out again? This chair that I'm sitting in is over 300 pounds. Again, this chair that I'm sitting in is over 300 pounds. This chair cannot be loaded on the front seat of a car or be put in the back of a pickup truck and tied down and have me safely ride in the back of a pickup truck to wherever I gotta go. So that requires specialized transportation like van services in the area. Okay? Van services should not be a problem. Van services should be a right for everybody with disabilities and not a struggle to have to justify, do you have a disability or don't you? Stay there for a minute, guys. I'd like to see this country go to pictures for verifying disabilities. If somebody like me claims they have a disability, let them show you they have a disability by taking a picture of how they live and what they need for equipment to live. That should be all the justification you need for certain things to happen. Now, if you agree with that, let me know at wheelingthepathwaytolife@gmail.com, wheelingthepathwaytolife@gmail.com, because I will pass that along to Trisha Polly Bouvier, a good friend and a good advocate for people with disabilities, and she is our state representative from Pittsfield. So I will bring that up to her if you guys feel something like that should be in effect. But I agree to some degree that there should be some verification to see if people like me are still alive and they still need to spend the money on the services. But it shouldn't be as hard to get services as it is today. Because every 4 years I have to reapply and re-ask to get services for transportation. Now, I should clarify that while you're reapplying for the services, they will continue the services. But if you don't reapply, they can stop the services at any time after the 4 years. If you have an active application in to receive services for the BRTA, you can receive services. But if your application expires and you don't get a new one, then they can stop services. Now, the BRTA is being very nice and extending services for the people that have had active commitments, but it should be up to them to keep track of and call and get the paperwork done and stuff when we need it. They should be able to go direct with the doctors. We shouldn't have to worry about getting the paperwork. They should do that for us. But we have the responsibility as disabled people to keep up on that and make sure they do it. And one of the other things that I'd like to talk about real quick, because it's happening tomorrow, is at any time if you're having difficulties with your housing situations, whether it be driveway or whether it be walkways in your house, either call the health department, or if you're in housing, call your housing people. Okay, Kelsey, you can go back in. And make sure you're up on safety aspects about your driveway and stuff like that. I will have a list of phone numbers put up on the screen next week for that I will commonly refer to for people. They need to get a hold of people in the city to contact for different services they may need for people with disabilities. I think that the partnership between Wheeling the Pathways of Life, whether it be me or whether it be the person that I'm speaking to, is a valuable tool for you to use. And I want you to think about this as many people rely on the morning drive show on WTBR and live on 1301. I want this show, Wheeling the Pathways of Life, to be a close second to Morning Drive. As this show focuses on disabilities and what's going on in the community on a daily basis, I want you to tune into this show weekly and not only hear what I'm saying, actually hear what I'm saying and put the words that I'm saying into practice so that you guys can get better services for yourself and make sure that people know there's other people besides me that have a voice and want to continue to live their best life and live their best life in their community that they invest their time in and invest their money in. We all, this whole world is to make this whole movement is let's make this world a better place and make this world a better place for everybody, including people with disabilities. And if it takes me pointing out the fact week after week that I'm here and that I can be reached and supportive to you guys, then so be it. But I need support from you guys to do that. I need you to let me know what you need me to discuss or what you have questions about. And let me just real quick tell you what I've gotten questions about from kids. They're silly questions, but they're very important questions. Yes, I sleep on a bed. Yes, I eat food. Yes, I go to the bathroom. Those kind of questions are the kind of questions I get. That's the innocence from the mouth of babes. And I don't want people to stop their kids from coming up to me in a store or coming up to me in the process of doing this show in the community or planning this show in the community. Because that kind of education is what I live for. I may talk a little funny, I may not walk around, but I am one of the smartest. Not that anybody else isn't smart, but I pride myself in knowing a lot of information, and sometimes it's a little slow to get out there, and I talk a little funny and I slow down for people to understand me. But if you take the time and listen to my conversations, my situations, you'd understand that whether I have a degree or not, I have a lot of knowledge and a lot of good communication skills, and you can learn a lot from people like me, and so could I learn a lot from people like you. So if any agency per se wants to come on the show, whether I agree with you or not, as long as we have, and my control room's gonna love this, as long as we have a fair and honest debate and a good-hearted argument, good-hearted discussion, don't get mad at each other. We can disagree, but we gotta do it respectfully and with compassion and understanding from each party. But I'll be glad to debate with you and challenge your points of view to try to get as many people to interact with people with disabilities. One more time, Kelsey, I'm gonna have you pull out again. Remember, folks, this chair is a tool for me to use. Not the chair isn't who I am. The fact that I can't use my arms or my legs isn't who I am. It's just what I have to deal with physically. But with the knowledge I have and the ability with a team like this at Pittsburgh Community Television to put on a show like this and to weekly be able to come up to people and say, I want to make changes to my show. I want to see if we can do this better or see if we can do that better. I mean, those kind of conversations are very important. There may be times when they say, no, that's not possible technologically, but at least I know how to have the conversations and talk to the right people, and they're not saying because he's disabled, we're gonna shut the door on him. That is not what we do here in Pittsfield. That is not the family I work with week after week at Pittsburgh Community Television or the agencies that I deal with. Yes, I may disagree with the way they do things and the privacy that I do or don't have, but I know deep down inside they're doing the best they can with the constraints they have. So just appreciate what's being offered to you. And yes, there's always going to be struggles and discontentment with services and how fast they are and whatever you gotta do to get the services. But just be thankful we have the services. And in this world today, we need to be proud of the way we are, not be unhappy with who we are or what we stand for. Just because we have disabilities doesn't mean we can't be as vocal or as ready. Okay, Kelsey, you can go back in. Or as ready and willing to advocate for ourselves, but realizing when we advocate for ourselves on changes like I've talked about today, I'm not only talking for myself, but I'm talking for other people too. Because these shows that I'm doing will hopefully be around long after I'm gone. I know they may be putting out guys, but people can see them long after I'm gone. I'm not going anywhere right now, but I'm saying, those guys, these shows will be here generation after I'm gone. Generation after generation after I'm gone. So, I mean, I'm leaving a legacy right now, and I want my legacy to be that, man, he took the time to really care about his community, even though he could have felt sorry for himself and said, oh my God, I got a disability. Go up in a corner somewhere and forget it. Go up in a corner and not do anything. That is not me. nor is it my family. And for the last few minutes I have right now, thanks to the U.S. government and thanks to the state of Massachusetts, and all the work they do, July is now, has been for several years. The July is the Disability Awareness Month. Disabilities are, I like to consider them special abilities. You may need specialized equipment to do the abilities, but you may need specialized equipment to do everything you do, but you still have the ability to do them. Doesn't mean you don't struggle with day-to-day life, but we all struggle with day-to-day life. Now, everybody here in the studio and everybody out there in TV land and online struggle with things, but it's how we deal with the struggles and which pathway we choose to go down when we struggle. Do we go down the positive pathway, or do we just say, oh, I can't do this no more, let me just go up in the corner and say the heck with it and lock the door? That's not living. And nobody needs to spend their time in a corner somewhere with nothing to do for the rest of their lives. We need to be as productive and as vocal as we can be for people with disabilities. Now, if you go by City Hall in the next couple weeks, you'll see this flag up at City Hall, which is a disability pride flag. Because if you can pull that up real quick, you will see this flag in front of City Hall right now. And on behalf of this, I know I'm not ready to close yet, Kelsey, so don't worry about it. But on behalf of the disabled community and my continued effort to remind people that people have disabilities and people can be productive members of society. The close of this show will, from now on after this week, be reflective of the in honor of people with disabilities. I'll be using this flag as a reminder weekly that we should be honored and recognized for all the hard work and all the people that assist us in doing what we can do instead of what we can't do. This will be the opening. This will be the close of every show. Okay, Kelsey, you can go back. But I just want people to know that I genuinely understand the struggles with the finances and the struggles that people have in the government as far as coming up with funding to do this. But I'm hoping that what I show you on a weekly basis, for as long as I can, and as long as I'm alive, that everything everybody's doing out there in the community, especially in the disabled community, is doing a fine job. And I really appreciate everything that everybody does, including the PCAs, including the nursing staff at nursing homes. I know you're not treated very well from the clients or the staff members that are supposed to be watching over you to make sure you're okay. But on behalf of one of the members of the disabled community, we really appreciate everything you do, including the caravan drivers, including the doctors that give us the opportunity to do what we do in the community. On that note, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next week.
Can bury the workmen, but the work will go on. You can silence the voices, but you can't stop the song. 'Cause when the spirits move, and His will be done. You can bury the workmen, but the work will